We are the anchors of Queer News Tonight, and tonight we have a fabulous roundtable as we discuss the queer headlines. Stonewall National Museum celebrates the 55th anniversary of Stonewall Uprising with an immersive exhibition and reenactment starting June 1st.
National Park Service tightens regulations barring uniformed employees from Pride events, causing confusion and concern among staff about inclusivity and agency neutrality.
The Louisiana Senate passes a bill like Florida's Don't Say Gay law restricting LGBTQ plus discussions in schools. Only the governor's approval is pending.
At Cannes 2024, Emilia Perez cast collectively won Best Actress for the roles in a transgender gangster musical.
Alberta Premier Danielle Smith and United Conservative Party are banned from Alberta Pride events after proposing anti-transgender policies.
Good evening. Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily evening television news, broadcasting live and available on demand. Available on all smart televisions, including Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, Amazon Fire TV, YouTube, and Facebook. It's time to queer up the news for Tuesday, May 28th, 2024. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we are going to tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show, literally out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first and only unedited live LGBTQ plus evening news show. Whatever happens unique in LGBTQ plus news, you will see it and hear it.
Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model of PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ plus community. Our mission is to support the 11 pillars of our LGBTQ plus community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of our queer culture, the Black community, Latino, lesbians and queer women, trans, students and youth, seniors, HIV and AIDS healthcare, business, social justice, and faith. Help us support our community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ plus nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network.
In 2024, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ plus experience, and our television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ plus and broader community.
Let's meet tonight's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome anchor and my sister, FayWhat! I practiced in my car before this. I wanted to make sure I could really get up there. She is not a radio and television personality, but the radio and television personality, and is the host of the FayWhat Show, the first LGBTQ plus morning program, Mondays at 9 a.m. and then on demand on all streaming and social media platforms. She's also a hostess and MC for many, many South Florida events. Faye, the New York City Players, the New City Players is bringing the Stella Scream Off contest on June 5th at the pub on the Drive. You are a judge. Tell me what's happening.
Hey, Stella!
Stella!
Stella! Okay, everybody knows that scene in a streetcar named Desire, and we're going to have an event called the Stella Scream Off. It's happening at the one and only The Pub. Thank you so much to Alexander over there and everybody. Oh, Todd, my favorite bartender also, right? So Marlon Brando made that scene just iconic, and we're going to relive it. Come with your best Stella Scream, and you might walk away with a wonderful evening to go see a streetcar named Desire, $50 cash at the pub, and also an Amazon card. And you know we all be using that Amazon for everything, right? So it's going down at the pub. It's going to be an amazing time. Make sure that you come on out. The sign up starts at 8 p.m. and we're going to start screaming at 9 p.m. So June 5th at the pub. I will see you then. Stella!
I might have to bring my FayWhat scream to the pub.
That was legend. That was actually the best FayWhat scream I've heard.
Your dog's on a leash.
Let's welcome Jeff Oliverio. He is a financial advisor and certified financial planner with Truist Wealth in Fort Lauderdale. Jeff is one of the founders and president of the Hollywood LGBTQ Plus Council. He has served as co-chair for the National LGBTQ Task Force Gala since 2021. Jeff, the Legacy Builders Consulting Group is producing this year's first annual Juneteenth Pride celebration in Miami Beach on June 14th. Tell me what's happening.
Really excited about this event. First of all, it's hosted at the Miami Beach Botanical Gardens. So for any of you who have never been there before, it's one of the most iconic locations in all of South Florida. The Legacy Builders, I'm really happy to see that we have a queer organization that's leading a Juneteenth celebration. So it's uniting both the Black community and our LGBTQ plus community in a celebration of Black liberation. So come out. Tickets are available on the Legacy Builders website, or go to Facebook or Instagram to find out details.
Amen. Let's welcome Jonathan Casanas, a board member of Forward Miami. He is also one of the producers of Gay Ocho Festival, the largest Latin diversity and inclusion festival in the nation. Welcome back, Jonathan. It's always great to see you.
It is great to see me too.
You look so slept and refreshed.
I am not slept and refreshed. It's been a long weekend. I'm only on 2 hours of sleep, and I'm prepping for one magical weekend, so it's going to be a pretty tough week for me. So let's get it started, Henny.
Absolutely. Let's welcome Anabel Lorente. She is the keyboard player and one of the songwriters for the band At the Starlight, which will be coming to Dania Beach on June 22nd. She has been with the band since its creation in 2021. Welcome, Anabel. It's so nice to have you at the round table.
Thank you. It's great to be here. And now you're all invited to our event on June 22nd, and it's called Indie Pride. So we're going to be celebrating Pride.
Oh,
Yay. And of course, this is tonight's lead anchor, Eric Restivo. Eric is well known for DJing at some of the largest clubs in West Hollywood and has residencies in LA, P-Town, NYC, and now homeboy Wilton Manor. He is a television host for the W Boys, focusing on the LGBTQ plus love for entertainment, broadcast Fridays, and then on demand. Eric, you're DJing and hosting the main stage at Stonewall Pride Parade on June 15th.
Yes.
What's up with that?
It will be my first time DJing in that area. I'm DJing in the pub, in the parking lot. Last year I was at the Hamburger Mary's lot, so a different location, and I am looking forward to hitting the main stage and reporting whatever they tell me.
Right where you belong.
For Pride. I am super excited. I hope to see everyone at this round table there. We are the reporters for Queer News Tonight, honey, and this evening we begin with the queer headlines. The LGBTQ plus community in South Florida and across America is diverse. Our community across the world is vast, and here are the bullet points of the queer news for Tuesday, May 28th, 2024. First, this evening, let's queer up South Florida and Florida. The Stonewall National Museum celebrates 55 years since the riots with Stonewall in Stonewall. Stonewall National Museum Archives and Library is set to mark the 55th anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising with an immersive exhibition and a historic reenactment, inviting patrons to engage with the pivotal moment in LGBTQ plus history. Opening its doors on June 1st, the exhibition titled Stonewall in Stonewall offers visitors a glimpse into the atmosphere of the original Stonewall Inn on the eve of June 28, 1969. The exhibition aims to recreate the ambience of the iconic establishment before the police raid that sparked the uprising and subsequent fire, which led to its closure for years. In addition to experiencing the exhibition and reenactments, supporters can contribute to the Decade of Pride and Liberation initiative. Contributions range from $100 for an activist level, which includes having one's name displayed in the exhibition, to $100,000 for the Rise Up sponsor level. Rise Up sponsors receive prominent recognition on promotional materials, permanent visibility in the exhibit, and participation in all related events across the United States for the next decade. All contributions are acknowledged with membership access to Stonewall National Museum Archives and Library. The exhibition is set to travel across the country, culminating in 2034 to celebrate Stonewall's 65th anniversary, which will ensure that the legacy of the uprising remains vivid for generations to come. Listen, I was so excited reading this story. I'm just so happy that although in the LGBTQ plus community these days, right now, we take a lot of steps back, right? We celebrate small wins here at Queer News Tonight all the time. This is a major win in the sense that there is so many LGBTQ plus youth that just don't even know about what happened before, right? Those who ran so they could walk. All of the history there is going to be around for much longer than some people might like it. So I got the good goosebumps reading this story. I know this table of panel also did as well. So good on you, Stonewall.
And I love me some Robert Keston, right? Robert's the ED over there at Stonewall National Museum and Archives, and he sits at this table all the time and lets us in on the, the dirty behind the scenes stuff, And he said he was going to take this tour everywhere, and I told him, even Texas? And he said, especially Texas, and that is how he rolls, And I asked him, like, how much to throw a brick? Because, I ain't got that kind of money to be like, right, a legacy person or anything. And he's like, we'll talk about it, Faye, right? And I was like, I even volunteered you and me, Eric. I'm like, we'll throw some bricks for your event.
Absolutely, we'll do. You let me know. I'll tell you where.
Have you guys ever been to a reenactment?
No.
It's intense.
Okay.
Man,
yeah.
I've been to reenactments and like interactive, which I think theater should go to. I went to one for the Cuban Revolution. I took my mother.
Okay.
And I was not part of the Cuban Revolution. My mother was. It becomes real and it's so triggering.
Yeah.
My mom had a minor meltdown where she legit felt like she was part of this revolution, and I was sobbing and I wasn't part of it. And it was nice to see what my mother went through so I can accept and understand.
Really understand.
And so it's good that these children these days are now going to see what our ancestors and our forefathers went through in those days. It's gonna be rough.
But talk about an immersive experience. I didn't even think about that. Like, how it can trigger somebody, But we got to get the kids to this.
Absolutely.
Because just like you said, Eric, they're trying to erase our history. We've got to teach the kids the shoulders that we're standing on.
Absolutely. The more we educate, the more they'll share. Yeah. So no matter what, we're not going anywhere, regardless of how many people on, the red side of politics try to get rid of us. We're not going anywhere.
I'll dress up as Marsha P.
I wanted to just highlight one other piece of the story about donating to the Stonewall National Museum. Again, our history is trying to be erased, and they can't do this work without supporting them financially. And you go across the country and you see museums for all different kinds of things, which have lots of great donors. You don't need to have hundreds of thousands of dollars to donate. Every donation, I'm sure, is very well received by the Stonewall National Museum. And if you want to support our history, you have to put a little skin in the game.
Something.
Right? And one last thing, people don't even know that we have this incredible museum here. Like you said, Jeff, it's a Stonewall National Museum and Archives, and it's on Sunrise Boulevard, people. Yeah. It's not in New York. It's not in Philadelphia. It's right here in Broward.
Absolutely.
Exit 29 off the I-95.
Next, let's queer up the USA view. National Park Service bans uniformed staff from Pride parades. Pride celebrations nationwide might have a different hue this year as the National Park Service tightens its regulations on uniformed employee participation in LGBTQ+ Pride events. In a recent memo described by an NPS spokesperson as a reminder of existing guidelines, uniformed personnel are effectively barred from marching in events that could be interpreted as agency support for specific issues, positions, or political affiliations. This departure from past practices has caused confusion and concern among National Park Service staff, particularly those who have traditionally participated in Pride marches, including significant events like those in New York City and San Francisco. The Stonewall National Monument, commemorating the pivotal 1969 uprising in the LGBTQ+ rights movement, has often seen uniformed rangers joining Pride events. However, this year's policy shift has left some employees disheartened. One National Park Service staffer, speaking anonymously, criticized the agency's handling of the issue, citing a lack of professionalism and sensitivity. They emphasized the importance of participation in Pride events, highlighting the historical significance of honoring LGBTQ+ employees who faced discrimination during the Lavender Scare era and the need for outreach to an underrepresented community. As Pride season approaches, the new National Park Service approach has sparked conversations about the role of government agencies in supporting marginalized communities and the balancing act between neutrality and inclusivity. Well, I can appreciate that it's probably a complicated issue, and it's probably something where it's like with your kids. You think if we let one do it, we have to let all of them do it. I'm sure there's something there that we probably don't know behind the scenes. That if we allow the Park Service to participate in Pride events, there might be other people in the Park Service who don't like Pride events and want to participate in other types of events. Right. So I think it's difficult, but I think there needs to be a solution because, again, I think supporting people in their workplace, which is the National Park Service, in their identity of who they are, is very important.
Right? I mean, are they cops, though?
They're like park cops, kinda-ish, right?
So instead of 5-0s, they're 2.5s?
Oh, don't say that.
No, because we have such a hard relationship with cops, you understand? So we have such a tough time. We were talking before the show, the three of us, about how New York has banned cops from being a part of Pride till after 2025 because some people in our community don't feel safe with them. Right? And we've got that really strained relationship with with cops,
Yeah.
with people in uniform. But these are, state park employees.
Troopers,
how are you not letting this staff be who they really are in a parade?
So the thing is they're taking a political stance, right? Like, as long as their DEI meets the status quo, where they're hiring minorities and not imposing on their personal lives, cool. But when you're now wearing a uniform and you're an extension of their brand and essentially making a political statement, that's where it becomes a little,
Well, speaking of politics, by the way, let's just all remind ourselves that we just read the words lavender scare in a sentence in that article, which was a policy that was based on the fact that lesbians and gay men were a threat to national security because we were vulnerable and we had weak morals. So let's not ignore that little murky cloud that just is thrown in there. It's weird. It's another step back, in my opinion.
I agree.
It can be, Faye.
Little laugh.
Next, let's queer up politics. Louisiana Senate greenlights its version of Don't Say Gay bill. Welcome to Florida. That is what Governor Ron DeSantis is likely saying today, as Louisiana is on the brink of implementing a controversial measure reminiscent of Florida's Don't Say Gay law. The state Senate voted 28-7 in favor of House Bill 122. The bill, which previously passed the House with a 69-28 vote, is expected to become law after garnering support from all Republicans and 2 Democratic votes. House Bill 122, proposed by Republican Representative Dottie Horton, mirrors Florida's Parental Rights and Education Act, commonly known as the Don't Say Gay law. If enacted, it would prohibit discussions about sexual orientation or gender identity between educators and students across all grades. Additionally, the legislation extends its reach beyond the classroom, encompassing extracurricular activities and social clubs. Horton, advocating for the bill, emphasized its role in protecting children from discussions deemed inappropriate by parents. However, Democratic Senator Royce Duplessis raised concerns about the potential negative impacts on LGBTQ+ youth, particularly those already facing mental health challenges. He proposed an amendment to limit the bill's scope to grades K-8 and allowing discussions on sexual orientation in certain contexts. Despite his efforts, the amendment failed to pass. The fate of the legislation now rests with Governor Jeff Landry, a Republican who is expected to sign the measure into law. Oh my goodness, Louisiana, we've got to do better. What is going on? Why are you taking a book out of Ron DeSantis's, a chapter out of his book, Ron DeSantis didn't succeed in what he was doing here in Florida, right? But he came real damn close. And you know who suffered from all of that are our children that don't even get to vote for your dumb ass, So it's just, it's sad. The Trevor Project does a report every single year that talks about the mental health of LGBTQ+ youth. And that more and more youth each year are thinking about killing themselves. And you know why that is? Because in school, they don't even have someone that they can go open up to. They can't even go to a teacher. A teacher can't even hold their secrets anymore, here in Florida. This is horrible. And this just makes me it grosses me out that Trump has opened the door for all this, and those 2 Democratic votes, shame on you. Shame on you.
Well, just to piggyback on Miss Dottie, is that her name? She does, you made a comment when we were reading through this, just so you guys know, that she looks just like someone and sounds like someone who hates us. And she does, by the way, in those pictures, Miss Thing. But just so you know, Louisiana, Don't Say Gay, guess what's up next? Abortion. So that's Florida for you. So we had Don't Say Gay, and now abortion's on the bill. So if you'd like your rights to just keep getting stripped away from you, come on, just move here. So we are not the state to follow the lead when it comes to freedom, unfortunately.
I think the shocking thing also is this is from the Republican Party in Louisiana, who I believe had an elected senator who had been kicked out of office for having a relationship with a underage woman, and so they're talking about again protecting children. They should probably start in their own party with some of their actual politicians. To date them.
It's always the
distraction
to the children.
Absolutely.
I'm surprised you guys are shocked at this. I saw this coming. There's going to be more states that are going to continue, and whether they succeed or not, the damage will be done, just like here. And that's the sad part. And we don't talk about how Because in reality, Ron DeSantis is not winning, but he has won because we keep fighting each other. And even though we're not impeded and we're not infringed upon, it still hurts because there's a lot of people in this state that hate us and are allowed to hate us out in public. Yeah. And Louisiana is going to do the same. Nothing's going to happen. No laws are truly going to change lives, but there is going to be such a divisiveness there more now than ever.
It's kind of like what Eric was saying before. We win one and then we lose two. And we win one.
It's a really common theme with our community, unfortunately.
And, you know, Louisiana, I know, is typically at the bottom of the education scale for, you know, K through 12 education. So your politicians should really be focusing on ways to improve the education system as opposed to limiting conversation about identity.
Right, and it probably, listen, and they're going to find the information somewhere. If you're not going to teach them in school, do you understand that there's Google, bitch?
Else.
Okay, there's a way to research anything. So you don't want to tell them about sex ed, and you don't want to teach them about queer identities. Trust me, they're going to find out.
You know what happened in my
darker hole
in my family. In my family, yeah, fuck it, I'm going to say it. In my family, my my nephew's friend called this girl bisexual, like, haha, you're bisexual. And the teacher was like, what are you doing? Do you even know what that is? And explained what bisexuality was to my nephew and his friend. My sister-in-law was livid.
About the explanation.
Yeah, that she should have been the one to explain bisexuality to her son.
But he knew about
that's where, right. But that's where this kind of bill sits at, and that's why it's a struggle and why it's easy in the state of Louisiana where the education level is a bit under, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's easy for them to vote for this kind of law. I don't know. It's going to happen in Texas. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Our poor children.
Sorry, I just had to throw that tidbit in there. Next, let's queer up entertainment. Let's queer up entertainment, shall we? Karla Sofía Gascón makes history as first trans woman to win at Cannes Film Festival. In a groundbreaking moment at the Cannes 2024 gala ceremony, the ensemble cast of the highly anticipated trans gangster musical Emilia Perez, they clinched the coveted Best Actress Award. Led by Madrid-born Karla Sofía Gascón, the collective win celebrated the talents of Selena Gomez, Zoe Saldana, Karla Sofía Gascón, herself, and Adriana Paz. The film follows the gripping tale of Mexico City lawyer Rita, played by Zoe Saldana, and hired by cartel leader Manitas, portrayed by Karla Sofía Gascón. The storyline revolves around Manitas' quest to seek gender-affirming surgery along her family, including her wife, Jessie, brought to you by Selena Gomez. Jury President Greta Gerwig, renowned for her direction in Barbie, clarified the decision to award this ensemble, saying, "Women together, that's something we wanted to honor when we made this award." And critics lauded the film's sincerity in the cast's transcendent performances, with Rolling Stone hailing it as a cinematic experience beyond words, and Vanity Fair applauding its sincere and sentimental approach. Karla Sofía Gascón accepted the award on behalf of the cast. She delivered an emotional speech, which I wish I saw, but I haven't seen yet, but she dedicated the award to all trans individuals. Selena Gomez couldn't attend the gala, but took to Instagram to share her joy and astonishment at the win. While the release date for UK and US audiences is not yet disclosed, French theater will premiere Emilia Perez on August 28th. This is a win, obviously. The reason why, and I say this all the time, the reason why I love doing the show is because we get to report on stuff like this. Win-win for the trans community, win-win for the general public. More stories get to be told. They're getting awarded, which means people are accepting it, and that makes me super joyful.
Woohoo! Let's talk about women power, all right? Women power.
Oh my God, that quote.
Power.
That quote.
Women power all around this, right? And you had me at trans gangster, baby.
Okay,
trans gangster. I was like, I'm all about that. So I'm about to drop something real quick. So I was at Cannes. Bling!
Yeah.
I was in Cannes, France. Bling! On the first day of the Cannes Film Festival, right? So this movie was just all over the city, and it got so much love. And then you hear Vanity Fair applauding it. They hate everything, okay? And they were like, oh my God, we've never seen anything like it. It's a Spanish film. John, we're gonna love it, all right? And the women who are casted are just blowing up. They're so amazing.
Yeah.
And come Selena as the wife. Yes, girlfriend, I am all for it. This is gonna be a blockbuster. It's gonna be out in France soon, and I'm hoping that it hits U.S. even sooner.
And they got like 89% Rotten Tomatoes, which I follow Rotten Tomatoes.
Which
like
no one ever gets that.
No one gets that high of a score on Rotten Tomatoes. I also just love that she's not that new to the game. You know, like this is an incredible achievement for her, but she's been working as a proud and out trans actress in the telenovela world for years now. Just goes to show like how much cooler the Latin community truly is.
Okay.
It really is. But also, like, can we take a moment for Selena Gomez? She's sort of proved herself. I mean, she didn't show up to the, you know, but she's been an ally for the LGBTQ plus community for many, many, many years. So applaud Miss Gomez. Yes.
Next, let's queer up trans rights. Alberta Premier and Party banned from Pride events following anti-transgender policy. Premier Danielle Smith and her United Conservative Party, UCP, of Canada, have been banned from participating in Pride events across the province after announcing new anti-transgender policies. The coalition Queer Citizens United YYC, comprising 14 LGBTQ plus organizations, announced the ban, citing the UCP's proposed changes to gender-affirming care policies. Earlier this year, Smith government promised to implement restrictions, including setting minimum age limits for treatments and requiring parental notification for students changing their names and pronouns at school. Under these guidelines, individuals under 16 would be barred from accessing puberty blockers or hormone therapies unless they had already begun treatment. In a press release addressed to Smith and the UCP, Queer Citizens United YYC declared, quote, "You may not join our celebrations in June when you plan to attack us in September. Queer rights should not be a political decision. Trans rights are human rights." End quote. The coalition includes groups such as Calgary Pride, Pride Corner in Edmonton, Lethbridge Pride, and several others across Alberta, Canada. When Global News requested a comment from the Premier's office, they referred the inquiry to the UCP's press secretary, who responded, quote, "We support and celebrate all Albertans and will continue to work towards ensuring that everyone feels valued, respected, and at home in Alberta." Yeah, okay. That comment made no sense, but we'll take it. And another loss. It's crazy how it keeps happening.
Alberta's like the red state section of Canada. Is what we would call it, first of all. Really? So, I mean, you can see, obviously, again, it's going to mirror the things that are happening across many countries. And of course, there's a conservative movement in Canada as well, pushing back. And again, getting these cues from the lead here in the United States.
Senor Trump.
Well, and they try to kind of like make it like a cuddly bear, right? So they try to be like, oh, well, under the age of 16. And also like, we have to tell your parents if you're changing your name or your pronouns, like making it seem as if they care for the child when really, I'm not a parent yet. I would like to be. I have fur babies, but I would create an ambiance and an atmosphere for my child where I already would know if they change their pronouns and they would come to me beforehand. So it wouldn't be a requirement in school, because as a responsible parent, you create that safe space for your child in their home to come to you. So this is, not the best.
Well, I know, but give it up to to Alberta for not allowing anti-trans to take place, on their watch.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Where I wish that we would do more of that. You know, where it's like, listen, you're against our trans siblings, then you can't be a part of us at all. And that quote was so strong when Anabel read it. Was like, you can't come party with us in June and then attack us, at the end of the year. Like, I felt that right in my gut, because it's freaking true.
What's her name? Tennis. What does it remind me of?
Martina.
When you were hosting the event, and we didn't know if she was going to show up or not after her anti-trans remarks about she doesn't believe that trans women should be able to compete in the same category, as
in sports,
existing in sports. So that was a hot topic. And did she show up? She didn't show up here. She showed up to a Miami brunch or something like that.
Yeah.
So she's got a bigger set than me, honey.
That's another story.
Right.
And that was proven to be true.
Tonight's broadcast is presented by viewers like you and the generous support by Visit Lauderdale, everyone under the sun.
Next, we are proud of our special partnership with Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church right here in Fort Lauderdale. Supporting that partnership, we're broadcasting from our permanent set here at Sunshine Cathedral at the Happening Out Television Studios. We broadcast Sunshine Cathedral Sunday International Service at 10:30 a.m.
We finish tonight's queer news headlines with a segment we call LGBTQ+ 1 Minute News.
In LGBTQ+ 1 Minute News, let's queer up politics. Queer icon Amber Rose announces support for Donald Trump. Amber Rose, once celebrated as a populist slut hero, has endorsed Donald Trump for the 2024 presidential election. The 40-year-old posted a photo with Trump and Melania captioned Trump 2024 with American flag emojis. This marks a stark reversal from her previous criticism of Trump. Many of Rose's 24 million followers expressed disappointment and threatened to unfollow her. I will state, never followed her and never will.
Why would you get your voting advice from someone who has a vape pen line and names her child /electric?
I don't mind a vape pen, but I am not here for Amber Rose.
I'm not here for her either.
Yeah.
She's definitely not
Never
a queer
been a queer
icon,
icon.
and I haven't listened to her ever, so I'm not going to start now.
Yeah, I'm queer and I have 2 eyes, and she's not.
Yeah, no support from me either.
LGBTQ+ 1 Minute News, that's queer of politics. Joe Exotic campaigns from prison, shares controversial views on LGBTQ+ rights, and more. Joe Exotic, currently serving a 21-year sentence, continues his presidential campaign, addressing issues like abortion rights, gun ownership, and LGBTQ+ rights. Exotic, known from Netflix's Tiger King, expressed his views on social media, criticizing certain LGBTQ+ practices and advocating for personal responsibility in gender transitions. He said, quote, "You want to be transgender? Then pay for the surgery. The government is not going to," end quote. As LGBTQ+ Pride Month approaches in June, Exotic recently posted on Twitter reiterating his controversial views on Pride parades. Joe Exotic, I almost forgot about who you are.
Yeah.
You're just trying to stay in the news. You know, someone call Carol Baskin to get you in that meat grinder, tree chipper thing that she's got in her backyard.
And also, shut the fuck up. You're in jail for murder, bro. And animal abuse. Like, no one's going to listen to you. Your rights were taken from you. Stop trying to take ours from jail, dude.
I think the good news is there might be someone he can debate coming to prison soon.
Yeah, I hear that if you say Carol Baskin's name 3 times, she just appears in Joe Exotic's prison cell and just takes him out. Try it.
I hope.
Yikes.
55 years of celebrating our LGBTQ+ history, from the 1969 Stonewall riots to the 2024 Stonewall parade. These are the stories of Stonewall Pride. Provincetown's Crown and Anchor says we are prouder together with Stonewall Pride. P-Town's Crown and Anchor has launched the Prouder Together initiative, highlighting its commitment to broader LGBTQ+ communities. The owner of the Crown and Anchor, Jonathan Hawkins, believes that after traveling across Florida for the Spread Queer Cheer Tour, it has become clear that the Crown's mission goes far beyond his community in Cape Cod. Prouder Together, also with Matthew Darren, will be the presenting sponsor of Wilton Manor Stonewall Pride, June 12th to the 16th, featuring the Black Excellency stage. Other events include Matthew Darren's Pride Fantasia on June 12th. You can catch a few of us at this table there, benefiting SunServe. The Eagles Leather and Bear Ball on June 14th, and Flockfest Splash Pool Party Rainbow Edition on June 16th. Earlier this year, Visit Lauderdale announced Fort Lauderdale's year-long sponsorship of P-Town, including the community's iconic LGBTQ+ events. Now, Crown and Anchor and Jonathan Hawkins and Matthew Darren Prouder Together returns their efforts in supporting the LGBTQ+ community of South Florida. This is a highly unusual and unique effort in support of two of the world's top queer travel destinations and communities. The initiative aims to support and stabilize Pride festivals, fostering solidarity and celebration within the LGBTQ+ community. Don't miss Crown and Anchor's Prouder Together at Stonewall Pride Parade and Festival in Wilton Manors on Saturday, June 15th.
LGBTQ+ 1 minute news. Let's queer up gaming. Google AI overview unveils surprising LGBT identities for beloved Pokémon characters. Google's AI overview is revealing surprising LGBTQ+ identities for beloved Pokémon characters. Bulbasaur is now a plant-loving queer. Mewtwo, an older cultured gay, and Koopa Troopa, a trans man dishonorably discharged from the military. Excited yet? The AI overview says Butterfree is a strong trans woman, while Ditto is a genderqueer, gender non-conforming sibling. Yes, ma'am. Fans are intrigued by these fresh perspectives from Google AI. Yeah, this is kind of amazing. I'm interested to hear what the parents have to say about this because the parents are now our age. I am the parent now, and it's going to be sick. It's going to be interesting to see.
When people say, like, why does everything have to be gay? Because why not?
Because why not?
Yeah,
it is.
It is.
It is.
It makes sense. This makes sense.
Butterfree is my friend. Hi, Butterfree, right? And so my persona is Lick a Lot of Puss, a very conservative lesbian from New Jersey.
Wow. I love how Lick a Lot of Puss is conservative.
That's me all day.
I'm still catching up on the Teletubbies, so I haven't seen this season of Pokemon, but I'm really looking forward to it.
I thought you were on Power Rangers at this point.
I
Jeff.
know,
Come on!
No, not a lot of time has missed. You're almost there.
I've been a fan of Pokemon forever, and I knew that, at least for Mewtwo, there was some questions about his identity.
Yeah.
But now I love all this stuff. This is great.
Oh, yeah.
But I catch them all.
We love the attention to detail. Mwah.
They're in a cruise now, too.
LGBTQ+ 1 minute news. Let's queer up business. Walmart doubles down on Pride Month after Target backs off. Walmart today promoted its new Pride apparel on Instagram ahead of Pride Month, stating, quote, "Not just a slogan, hashtag Pride Always is a reminder to lead with love," end quote. This follows Target's decision to limit its Pride collection to select stores after backlash over controversial products last year, which led to some stores relocating their displays to avoid controversy.
Pride Always, I feel like, is not just a slogan. It's that sense of community at the end of the day. I'm really, really grateful to Walmart for giving me this opportunity to spread a little bit of happiness.
While I was creating my collection, it was important to me for it to be positive and uplifting.
Choosing a favorite piece is sort of like choosing a favorite child. Feels a little unfair.
I think Queer and Eerie, which is the skulls with the rainbows, that's my favorite.
It's the You Matter journal. The self-reflection is important to be able to write pen to paper.
The fanny pack that says I heart gay people.
The pink apron. I'm very excited to use it with my kids in my kitchen.
Totes Gay just really tickles me. I love a pun. It's a picnic blanket. Yeah.
I think the pool floaty is what got me.
The pool float. It's so good.
I was like, what?
I'm amazed at the artistic talent that I'm surrounded by. I think it's all really exciting to be a part of.
I mean, I'm just going to say, you can find at Walmart pretty much the same things you can find at Target. Shop Walmart.
Target is Target.
We all took that collection.
I know. Take that breath. I'm sorry because I'm still like affected from last year. You understand?
Target. Your bed talking about.
Yes.
It, by the way.
Yes. Wearing Target merchandise that I later burned. Okay.
Right.
So Target is like our straight ex who ghosted us and treated us badly. All right. I'm all over Walmart right now. I am just. all over Walmart.
I'm going to be the dissenting voice at this table. Art has been a long-time supporter of the LGBTQ plus community, and limiting some of the merchandise in stores where it may have not sold well is a business decision, which probably they made smartly. And second of all, we will say that, remember, many of the people that are the top shareholders of Walmart, the Walton family, are huge donors to Donald Trump and to the Republican Party who do not support LGBTQ initiatives.
Bye-bye, Walmart.
I applaud Walmart for doing this, but I still think I'm not against Target.
I don't know. Walmart for me is like that booger at the end of the club, at the end of the night of the club that you're like, I'm going to go home with you just because I need someone to go home with. That's what it feels like because I still want to go shop at Target. I'd rather not shop at Walmart. I don't know if it's going to do well. But kudos to them for snatching this lane that was
but
now
doesn't
empty.
it feel like they're aprovechando? Doesn't it just feel that it's like, hey, Target treated them bad, we're going to run in and take advantage of that? Jeff, thank you for telling our viewers that because I didn't know that. And now I'm all loving up on Walmart having no idea. So now I'm going to Sedano's.
Moral of the story, Wilton Collective has fabulous pride.
Yes,
here, you know?
Fabulous.
So
thank you, Julia.
check that out.
Well, that is today's news for the LGBTQ plus community on the world's first and only daily LGBTQ plus evening news show.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Are you, like most of America, part of our very large television audience watching this live LGBTQ plus news broadcast right now on Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and Amazon Fire TV?
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ plus digital television show that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support. If our community is to grow, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ plus stories in motion and sound. This is the Passion of Hotspots magazine happening out television network and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor, Eric Restivo, and on behalf of these LGBTQ plus iconic reporters, the anchors of Queer News Tonight, including FayWhat, Jeff Oliverio, Jonathan Casanas, Anabel Lorente, we will see you daily at 8 p.m. to our LGBTQ plus world. We wish you good night.